Hello, this is Jake Light, Gaming Lawyer at your service. The video you're about to see is an edited version of my streaming of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve on Twitch. If you like what you see, consider leaving a like or comment on this video, or subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to be the first to watch the latest content. Otherwise, if you want to catch me live and interact with me on Twitch, the link is in the description below. As always, take care, stay hopeful, but be critical. Enjoy the show. Alright. We'll be playing a Great Ace Attorney now. So, for those that haven't seen me play, it's gonna be spoilerish. So if you want to not get spoiled, you can watch my previous Let's Plays on the first game, which is on my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I'm gonna get spoiled. Yeah, so if you don't want to, I totally understand. If you don't want to continue watching, but yeah, this is the second game. Second one I'll be playing. There's a two parts, right? The first one I already played as a Let's Play, and it is all in my YouTube channel. And now this is the fourth session of the second game. Now, Ace Attorney is great, but I never played them. But I don't mind watching. Alright then. So, just to recap, alright? Just to recap, what has been happening is... Let's see. Let's just continue first. Alright. The basic gist of this case is... our accused is charged with attempted murder because our victim is not dead. So we have our people here. The victim is Soseki Natsume. He is a Japanese scholar sent to London to further his research into English language. He's been acquitted for a very serious crime, but now finds himself accused of another. So yeah, he was in another case in the first game. He was also accused, but for stabbing. Stabbing who? Stabbing this Olive Green. But she's not dead. She's not dead. She has recovered, and apparently she's going to be very, very important in this case. And very soon, because she'll be coming to the court. But yes, who is saying this person is the who tried to murder him? Would be this guy. This is supposed to be the victim, William Shakespeare, right? Very interesting name. Most likely it's a fake name that we're gonna be finding out. Because they did mention like a actual the what's that guy? How do you say? A poet, or writer, whoever. William Shakespeare. So yeah, this guy definitely is fake. But then again, this guy is accusing our client here, right, for trying to murder him by poisoning him. But we have found out that's not true. But we still can't really prove with very concrete evidence. So still in a loophole here. So that's why we have Olive Green. We're summoning Olive Green to the court to determine how that would prove that our client here didn't poison this guy. Right. That's a very, very simplified way of explaining the case, but yeah, it's convoluted, but it's okay. This game, you don't really have to be too serious about it. Just let it flow. Okay. So as always, whenever I play Ace Attorney games, I always do voices for them. So please brace yourselves for that. It is bad. My voice acting is bad, but I like doing it. It's fun. So yeah. 23rd February, 11:32 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. So we're like in the waiting room of in the courtroom, beside the courtroom or something like that. Joyful, jubilant jumping jacks! Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you. Lookums to Miss Naruto Esquire, and Don Lookums to Judicial Assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Yes, we have a fictional Sherlock Holmes, but in this game, he's called Sherlock Sholmes. Ah, Sherlock Sholmes! May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. I thought the tea was innocent. But yeah, that's me, Ryunosuke. I'm the main protagonist. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day, as sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Such spirited determination has a beauty of all its own, does it not? So yeah, our Sherlock Sholmes here was late to come to our court trial today, but I don't like him. I don't like him. I'm just gonna tell you that. Oh yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why time after time do they make the same foolish blunder? I actually wonder the same thing. I oversleep so many times. And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. What logic! What mind-boggling logic, Sholmes. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Oh, yes. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink at all night. And the results? But by first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew already. What others presuppose, I proved by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Scientific method, my bullshit. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? Ah. Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task, as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine. Ooh, it's a poison. So I was right. Perhaps. Though of course such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Alright, we got it. Bottle. Okay, let me check on that bottle first. If there's anything to check about it, though. Yeah, probably not. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Stretch 9. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here. Look! You mustn't be tempted to try it. Of course not. As long as we don't lose this trial. What? No, even if you lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo. Make your mind up, Susato-san. Alright, I guess there's nothing. We just had that comment, I guess. Alright. Who is this speaking? Oh, this guy. Gregson, how good of you to come. Don't take it out of the context. British. Forget. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation on Mr. Shakespeare's room? Not yet. Shouldn't be too long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shakespeare's room? A man by the name of, yes, Selden. I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? I've copied out the relevant parts for you so you can read it for yourselves. Thank you! Alright, we're gonna have a good looking through of this. See what's in there. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes while in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. Estimated £1,000 worth of loot he still remains unrecovered. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strange Ways prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. So, I think the important facts that we should be focusing on is this. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. Who is his cellmate? Now that's the question, eh? These documents include the details that were in a newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the only one who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things got handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, My dear fellows, an inspector here is a shining diamond in his crown. A shining diamond in the rough, baby. Look, I don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. And he leaves. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery, not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Moustache in floods of tears, personally. So, the best of luck to you. Look into the Miss Naruto Esquire! Yes, Mr. Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeare. This is going to be the final battle. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. It is all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. Right. So we're going to be in the courtroom again. Ka-ching. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense, namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Also, yeah, this guy is still racist. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zix is the new witness present and ready to take the stand. Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailey, bring the witnesses in. Witnesses? Oh yeah. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shamspeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. Oh no. British. I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no, not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too experienced to admit she has no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a coterie. What is that word? Coterie? What's a coterie? Let me check. What's a coterie? A small group of people with shared interests or tastes, especially one that is exclusive of other people. Okay. Interesting. Anyway. Mr. Shamspeare, My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And be screened.
Oh, yes.
You are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume.
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage.
Very well. Let us proceed with the matter at hand. It being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever called to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on that night that this man was poisoned, I was still in Pearl Hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Gary Depp household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare. But what happened 6 days ago is nothing to do with me being poisoned. Hey, where's your flowery language? Where did it go?
Let us proceed then. The witness will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February.
Bum, bum, bum. It was 6 days ago at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to me just about outside the house where the man in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital,
so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare.
'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine!
When Soseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there's nothing connecting these two witnesses but a happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they are unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my only one chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord. Cross-examine. All right. Walking in the snow. Can you elaborate on that? I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. I woke up to find that the case had been solved and a culprit arrested.
Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening and should now be forgotten.
Yes, I suppose so. Thank you.
But before you put in completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day for us to arrive at that truth about this new case.
The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement.
Okay, nothing we can talk about that, I guess. Because I don't think we have the necessary evidence right now. We have nothing like that on hand. So yeah, the best we can do is just press.
Okay,
What were you doing there that day, though?
What do you mean?
The art school you attend. What's it called?
Yes, it's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene of the underground. On the underground.
What weird. I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
It's because I'm... oh yes, of course, I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
The point is, she's definitely hiding something.
Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly were you doing?
'Twould be my pleasure, sire.
Right. Why were you at tavern? A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel.
Huh?
What do you mean, Lord Van Zix? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room.
It's true, the menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness.
What? I would have expected grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea like mush. All equally appetizing.
I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
How different can water really be?
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment.
We know that from our investigations. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days, he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. We don't have, unfortunately. Right. We don't have. We don't have. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment.
If we find a clue that could explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there, we might present it to the court.
Yes, absolutely.
If that is all on this matter, Counsel, I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
First time, had little matter. What little matter, Miss Green? Perhaps, please elaborate.
It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Ah,
It was related to the card you were holding? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
what does that matter? That has nothing to do with Duncan.
Excuse me. Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court?
To be or not to be, that is the question. Ah, pray forgive me, the great bard's word springeth from within me with ne'er thought.
Don't tell me. It's because you are possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
Well, nay, sire, 'twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would if it were so, but sadly, nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodgings fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours.
Miss Green.
My lord, have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note, Do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please.
Oh, you're very sharp, Judge. I didn't know you had it in you. Right, we have it now. We can press the previous statement and present this thing. Can we examine it? The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah, what is it? The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean... Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto?
Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up.
They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs to this card.
Hey, it's updated. Yeah, a ripped piece of envelope that was found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. It fits perfectly with an envelope in Miss Green's possession. Alright. So, oh, that's it. That's it. Miss Green's card. Perfectly with an envelope in Miss Green's possession. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
Right, let's present these. Bum 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 bum. Waiting to get the chance to expose our witnesses' lies with the evidence that I got. Waiting to... Alright. Present evidence. Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, sire?
On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize? For a very particular reason.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pray if thou hast some purpose, speaks.
Very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at that Slug and Salad that day. Namely, this. I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good Lord, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 PM on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Well, the thing is, we can really kind of argue that maybe this letter is for someone else that was in Slug and Salad, right? Also a pretty disgusting name for a place for eating. Mr. Shamspeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Ah! Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Well... Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green?
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it?
Well, you'd think so, yes. But it's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
May you...
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well then. You may amend your testimony to include details about a peculiar note.
Delivered to your address. It's nothing to do with the old man next to me here. Can I just press... Wait, can I just present this? I'll try. Objection! The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital.
Yes, I did. It's a terrible experience. Everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's a torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Where did you find it?
In Mr. Shakespeare's room.
In my room.
Mr. Shakespeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Whoa.
Your actions that afternoon followed the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. And so that is exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shakespeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green.
What did I do?
As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shakespeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession?
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all.
There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shakespeare's room and stole it.
They were sorry. Thou as what? You broke thou were in my room. What on earth do you want with me?
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Ugh. Miss Green.
Yes?
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Very well then. Witnesses, you will give formal testimony again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received.
So our Miss Green here tried to kill our fake spear here.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago. Peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day retained, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Sand, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. Anything about it.
Right, sure. Loving all the voice acting. Well, I guess. Thank you. It's all over the place though. It's not consistent.
Faith, 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have set it upon this table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was.
But Olive Green was really good. I guess.
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the only lying.
I beg your pardon?
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is.
If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in...
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. I'll cook lunch, instant noodle. Already hungry. Oh, alright. Have a good lunch. It's 11 a.m. Oh, should I have a lunch? Not hungry yet. I can still go on. But yeah, hope it was a good instant noodle. You skip breakfast? Oh, okay. And this is your brunch then. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Well, counsel.
I'm ready, my lord. Samyang noodles. Ooh, yeah, nice. Nice.
Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shakespeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note.
Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. It's not a pretty one. Yep, it's not pretty at all. No, I do remember now. It was a week ago. Delivered them to me. Let's press this. How is it? How? What? Can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all?
Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue, even with a knowledge of literature as great as my own. Verily, it's impenetrable.
But Mr. Duncan Ross had logically the same household as you. In fact, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you?
Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted.
Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature.
Mary, not with have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by my own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated.
Is that so? On the day reached their inn, I tarried a long hour at the Slug, yet nobody came. Yep. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into the men's room, do you? Why would I? It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shakespeare about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings.
Objection.
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless our involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come to the possession of Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by Oh man, this is a tongue twister. Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shakespeare's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though? Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruto. We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Let's just press more. So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted. This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
You're calling the woman fat?
Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy. Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death.
Did you just told the girl to die? Told the woman to die?
All the days, all the years, alas to enliven thee, thou must wait so long and in vain.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Mr. Naruto, interject with some clever remark.
This is your chance to shine.
I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument
is evident, yes.
Right.
It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shakespeare's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes, two or more less foregone conclusions that led me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Right. Let's just press everything. I'm not certain any of the evidence I have right now can directly prove anything. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared.
Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest.
Really? You paused for a moment before you answered.
In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the Slug at the Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and my innards to a premium crust of bread. And all round me danced a great many companions.
What do you mean?
Flies, sire, flies.
Oh my god, a waste of my time here.
Good lord.
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me.
I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around.
Okay.
Is that wrong of me?
Alright, nothing about that. Let's just press this as well. When exactly did you notice it had gone missing?
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
It's the same thing.
And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the notes. I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
Oh, dearie me.
What's Lord Van Zieg's getting at? So I've pressed every statement. Now, So I guess we have to figure out what evidence would connect them. That's a big problem now. Capital offenders file. Hidden photograph. I'm gonna say the bottle poison for this one. Let me see. What's the other statement? You can point a bit in here as for a piece of paper. I don't know anything about it. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna try and present the poison bottle at this statement. Yes, I was right. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare? Oh! No, I missed Duolingo. Oh yeah, I haven't changed that. Sorry, sick. Yeah, I started stream earlier today. Wait, grade 8 to 30. I didn't change it. Sorry, man. But yeah, if there's any consolation, it was quite short. It was a rather short Duolingo stream, Duolingo part. Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone: to cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison.
Can this be?
You broke into my room too?
It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear me!
Oh, order! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison in the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely?
Well, that's a very good point.
Perhaps not, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time.
Lord Van Zix. And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspeare's address. More activity? Yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder? Yeah, so Mr. Natsume wasn't in his room at the time, so there won't be any reason for our Shakespeare here to try and do anything with the pipes until he came back. That's right, and as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupants. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe.
His intended victim being in a prison cell, with the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
And then 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night his gas stove mysteriously went out, Mr. Shamspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier.
Murray!
With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the slug and sell it at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear.
To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home?
Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that you wouldn't be disturbed.
You mean to say that letter
Was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Well, that actually kind of explains. It explains why the poison bottle didn't have any labels on it, because it's not actually from the hospital. Somehow she obtained that sort of chemical somewhere. That's a bit finicky though.
Order! Order! What do you mean? What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me?
Miss Green's motives should be obvious. Oh no, is she gonna change? It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this.
You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
This guy, Duncan Ross.
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garidev's, somebody else was renting the room, Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when a man died in strange circumstances at a haunted lodgings.
That does ring a vague... Oh, of course. Yes, I remember now. The young man they claim was strangled by the convict's curse, or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamsier's blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple.
Ah! Well, what do you know?
Oh, thanks for the read. Peach Llama. I'm gonna give you a shout out. Hello. Welcome. Oh, you were playing Tower Fantasy. How was that game? How was that gacha game? It was just started the game or been playing for some time since it launched. But hello. Thank you for the raid. I'm Jake Light. I'm a gaming lawyer, but also a real life lawyer as well. So if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to do so, all right? Any legal questions you want to ask. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Although I only specialize in certain laws, but in general, I know most general things. But yeah, it was great. It just started playing a couple days ago. Oh, I see. Oh, how? Did you get something good? Or have you played like Genshin Impact? How do you compare that to this game? I like to ask controversial questions. But yeah, I'm playing Ace Attorney, of course, right now. But I'm a variety streamer. Other than play games of all types, I do draw as well as do some live seminars, which I'll be doing tomorrow. I'll be talking about YouTube's community guidelines, not community guidelines, sorry, copyright policies. We'll talk a bit of how copyright works for content creators, as well as how YouTube deals with any type of a copyright infringement. So yeah, that'll be something I'll be doing tomorrow. Yeah, thank you again, Peach Llama, or should I call you Peach? Anyway, so hello to Kakuyon. Hello, hello. So yeah, right now I'm playing a Ace Attorney game, which is called Great Ace Attorney. The second one, I'm playing I've already played the first one. It's on my YouTube's channel. The entire game is in there as well. Right now, I'm slowly uploading my sessions of the current game I'm playing. First session was just uploaded yesterday, and today is right now the fourth session of Great Ace Attorney 2, and we're still on our first case, but I think we're going to be ending. We're going to get to the bottom of this very soon now. So yeah, please be warned, I'm doing a lot of weird noises, so if it's very cringy, I understand. All right, but I just like doing voices and stuff. Not a professional or anything, but just like doing voices. But yeah, so that's it. So let us continue. All right, let us continue doing all these weird voices. So we finally know probably the final true culprit of this case. So how do I do this? Is she gonna change or something?
The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. That's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they all want to know. It doesn't cross their mind that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you, Duncan Worse.
Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shakespeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. A murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Mary! Miss Green, is it not the case? In order to exact revenge on Mr. Shakespeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe.
This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder.
Yeah, quite. Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection.
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas. It's causing him judgment to be clouded.
What?
Why would Mr. Shakespeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slight. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance.
Dumbledore Judge. Yeah, actually, he looks quite like Dumbledore, except the judge has no hair. It's just a fake wig.
You have to forgive me, Mr. Naruto, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either.
Miss Green.
I'm sure you'll think I'm very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
But you broke into the man's room. You didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe. What was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around, that's all.
Sorry?
You're right, I suspect him, so I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh vileness, oh villainy, oh tyranny, oh rotundity of woman.
Man, you're calling her fat. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. Ah, perfect excuse to be an E, just to look around. Yes, perfect reason. Yeah, totally innocent. You know, what's so wrong? Just like entering without the owner's permission, right?
But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. The whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some tubes and a piece of wire.
That's not better, you know. That's not better. You're basically lockpicking the door.
Oh awfulness, oh artfulness, oh tyranny, oh profanity of woman.
We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion. But for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed.
Well, I spotted the note that I sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Eh?
Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box.
Edgeworth's great granddaddy kind of looking pretty nice. I'm pretty sure he's not Edgeworth's ancestor. Also, the other thing about this guy is he's super racist. So that's one thing. Maybe he is, maybe he is not. But please don't tell me. Give me any spoilers, all right? Don't say any spoilers. If you have like seen something about this game.
Yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it? Never played the game, just being silly. I see.
Yes.
Key. Oh, I see a key.
This rather nice key. What are you doing with that?
What the?
Every ounce of color has drained from his face.
Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it.
What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it.
No,
What's all this about? He inherited that key?
It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this minute.
Give it back to me. Okay. Should I change his voice?
Calm yourself, witness.
So Mr. Shamspeare has tried and in one case succeeded to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamspeare at first, but considering everything we know about now, I think there is actually something that could explain it.
What? I need to...
I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events.
In that case, Counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspeare's alleged crimes?
I'm pretty sure it's this one.
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get all of that?
The Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
Yeah, you joke about that being Edgeworth's being this guy being Edgeworth's granddaddy or like great granddaddy or anything. I think our protagonist is actually related to Phoenix Wright, or at least related to the Japanese version of Phoenix Wright. Because in the Japanese version of the game, he's called something like now. His surname is Naruhodo as well, I think. So pretty sure, yeah, there might be a direct descendant, the protagonist at least.
I see.
And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died.
That the sum £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found.
No idea, this game has such an amazing cast of characters that very flamboyant and wild. Yeah, very flamboyant, very ridiculous sometimes as well. And sometimes it's more supernatural than how to say fiction, urban fiction. I mean, all the legal systems and stuff is super fake and everything, but the characters being able to do certain stuff, kind of impossible. I mean, look at Shamspeare. Yes, Shamspeare,
which as yet remains to be found.
Ah, yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. It's written in his file here.
£1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the papers sum it up.
And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
You mean this key is?
Mr. Shamspeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you, a false charge.
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room Let Selden hit his loot.
So, it all comes out.
Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamspeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of the prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Gary Depp's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice.
Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Ah,
Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. When he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room.
However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Saseki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less.
So you decided to use the ply with the gas again, did you, Mr. Shamspeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the £1,000 of loot that behind by the dead convict. Oof. Are we done? Are we done? Are we done yet?
I'm gonna stuff everybody straight me like, listen, I want you to have me loot anything to stop the coppers getting your mitts on it. It's in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Yeah, there's a key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamspeare.
That is his name. Okay. All right.
it's mine.
What did he just say?
It's mine. That loot. It's mine.
It's crazy now. Mr. Shamspeare?
It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Ugh, ah. If I don't admit it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me, for the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest a victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself I get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I just give up?
There's no question in my mind now. This man is insane, through and through. And guilty, of course. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Miss Naruhodo. There is a way. Pardon? There's one way I can finish him. No, don't kill him. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot, which means all we need to do is find it first.
A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find convicts loot quickly. Well, yeah, because of how the game works, right? If you don't if you lose all your life by making a lot of mistakes, at the end they will still sentence our client, our accused, as guilty. So in a way, how the legal system is more towards it's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty proven until innocent. Guilty until proven innocent. Sorry. So even though at this point we're most likely very certain Natsume is innocent, but if we lose the game, our client is still gonna be considered a criminal. So yeah, kind of a stupid logic in this game, really. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. Huh? It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then.
Very well then, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall?
Do we have this picture? Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings.
That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of a defense independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful little discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title where he hears one, Mr. Shakespeare.
Oh wait, that's not the name. Oops. I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shakespeare. Right. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title.
Ah, 'tis Sherlock Sholmes himself!
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since the last we met. Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Zixen. Well enough to say something like that, in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe, quote-unquote, activities. You're making it sound weird, Jones. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering your help, Mr. Jones. When a convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will that sample take? Present a person or present evidence? What form would the sample take? Can I present evidence though? I feel like I can't. So definitely person then. We'll need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict's own happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain the possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution? Take that! Miss Green!
Me? What do you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry?
The key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. Well, I don't think it's true in real life, but true in this fictional world. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shakespeare, as one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in this former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shakespeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it!
It's over, Mr. Shakespeare.
No!
You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt.
Whoa! Oh, shameful spear! The despair! Be thy name!
Well, that's it, I guess. Yay! We unraveled all the mysteries now. And is that good game?
I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all.
So you have to find the convict's haul of stolen goods. Yet after you killed the young man, you still move into the room.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Gary, that really has had a lot to put up with.
And he had that gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting a room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign a new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing. Then 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance. Wasn't to be.
No. The scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to this room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in this room.
Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shakespeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Huh? Oh.
Awkward. So now what?
At first, I really didn't think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. All right then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There's spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, you fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I have been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with a publican. That place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The roof is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're taking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I had heard about how the gas companies go around investigating gas installations.
A rumor? Ah, you mean?
Yes, everybody's heard stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in East End.
A black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them, and you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. And I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait.
Mr. Shamspeare was innocent. Nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the man named...
Sorry.
I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare. And then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Slag on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shakespeare followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprits would get his just deserts.
Wow.
Who would have known? We have a double murderer case here. One who is murdering the murderer, while the murderer is trying to murder another person. So everyone is guilty of crime. Except for our accused. Our accused is always innocent. 99% of the time.
3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
Yes, my lord.
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes.
It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend.
Oh, yes.
and one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green,
Yes, my lord.
you will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Saseki Natsume here present.
Ugh.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes.
yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from...
From ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle.
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green.
Oh,
And I like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shakespeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Yeah, still attempted murder. Still very serious. I'm not sure about at that time's laws. Could still be a capital punishment. I guess maybe not.
because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last.
Oops, somebody called. I'm busy.
Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Saseki Natsume,
Yes, my lord.
the court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I will call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We are in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty.
Yay! Woo, yay! Suck it!
All right. Finish the case.
Court is adjourned.
The Old Bailey and chamber.
Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done!
Divine justice?
My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Look at Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Once again, you've saved me from doom!
I'm very happy to have been able to help you, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days.
I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did, and I've seen more life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind a wall of fog.
My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I've finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. I've come to feel the same way.
I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What?
Just when we've become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know, that does tug my heartstrings. It really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Miss Natsume? How wonderful. Oh well, no, I mean, I would presume to call it literature.
Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Moustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work.
Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. That's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
Oh my goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. But that's not what I'm leaving. I mean it. Objection!
And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar, and barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well, on the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day, the day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. I see, there are more to that mystery. This Natsume's Rooms, 24th February, 10:30 a.m.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret behind the secret hiding place in just one day.
Was it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Okay, he's just munching.
Rexy's been happily munching Greenland this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorlessly it might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned in a hiding place in the ceiling. What's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul. What is that? What is this?
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge though.
And look at all the gemstones in it. Set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt.
Oh, have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains. It's blood. It's totally blood. You don't think it could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt.
Then of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. What does it signify? What does it signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen the emblem somewhere before. You know, where could it have been?
Let's over out, I think. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes, get your gubbery hands off that, you lot, and hand it over now. I think I know what is related. I've never seen a collar that large before, and all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me, at least not once I've noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those dark stains, could they really have been blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what could use as the basis for this man's story in the magazine. But this case would be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
The mystery of the life in the mist, and the mustache man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes, was it? What is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but I can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of the two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
And so it was that the second of Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Okay, so I don't need to narrate. Yay!
Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen, for it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
All right. And yay, we finish a... Hey, Tiger Man. You miss me? Ah, nice. Thank you for that. Welcome back to the stream. I will continue playing this game, at least for several more hours. But calm down and be a good boy. I need to take a break. I need to take a lunch break. I'm very, very hungry, so I need to see if I can get something to eat, and we'll be back with more Great Ace Attorney. Right? So sorry whoever just came back. Sorry, Tiger Man. But yeah, I'll be back. So in the meantime, if you are going to, if you want to take a review, but if you are taking a break or going to be taking a break, please do so, alright? Will be a bit long, maybe like 20-30 minutes like that. So yeah, in any case, BRB, and I have my BRB here. We are looking at some videos, of course. Alright. Alright, we're back. Let's continue. Episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible
Is that a
catastrophe
fish steam machine?
during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
What truth? Tell me.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Oh,
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
what do you mean unusually fine? It's not supposed to be fine?
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
That's look
A man will
doesn't look safe at all.
by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
Okay.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
This is a magic trick. It's not real. Or literally someone's gonna die.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. to arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you! This one! Yes, yes, yes! Woo!
Yeah, does this look right? It's gonna die. Oh no! I'm assuming that is gonna be our client. 22nd October, 9:36 a.m. Sholmes Suites. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Is my hand moving? Yes, it is moving. Very good, very good. Let's do this.
Bruno, are you listening?
Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
Today's paper. It's full of news about the great exhibition again.
Ah, yes, the great exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Yeah, down Sholmes. I like down Sholmes. Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast. Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim, so much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looked like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. Alright. It crossed my mind recently. It's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that will explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know. And a great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go to see it together?
I want to. Of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So we're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from. Is that it?
don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. What's going on? Half a year ago, we are flashbacking. I took on the defense of a young girl in trial, heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake.
Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes, my lord.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
You have, haven't you, Bruno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sherm's out cases.
Brewing Irish special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart and the British Supreme Court on Whitehall.
Lord Strongheart?
Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up by this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
Look down on? Do you mean those things fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I'm so dumb. I can't understand it all. I'm just a lawyer with so much critical thinking. I can't understand science.
That's true for a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated here seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the Open's experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scams experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Great Japan. Shadows cast behind, Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Indeed, it could be. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. Ooh, what's this? The Reaper attacked! So many glowing reports about a great exhibition, anything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is... Wait, what?
What's the matter, Runo?
The Reaper attacked. That's Walt Van Zix. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Lost cat. First test of matter transport device. Eyes on the world are on the Crystal Tower. King Charlotte Charleston awards prize to ruffians aim to intimidate a man of justice. Okay. Reaper attacked. Yeah, gloomy. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. You must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood.
Ah!
Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. There was a deep sigh. Was that a sigh? It says in the paper that Lord Van Zix was attacked. That's so terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Baroque Van Zix. They say that if the Ripper is prosecuted in case, there's no salvation for whoever is in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always finds ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as this cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zix has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. he doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness! Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in an article here it says, as to one of Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition.
Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in know. But who? Lord Strongheart? Perhaps? Oh, we're ready to go? Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mrs. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to pick me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you will be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind. But now I'm wondering where you're going. Ha. Well then, see you later, indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Oh! Hey! So cute!
Alright then, Reno, let's get going.
Oh, Iris, what are you wearing?
I've got to change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you?
Of course. And after the Supreme Court, and we'll go to see the Great Exhibition.
Right, let's move. Let's go. The new location has been added. Lord Chief Justice's office. Ah, always pigeons. Oh. Been some time since I voiced Lord Strongheart. 22nd October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. Some things never change, like a sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Hey, so cute. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all though. It's happily reading over there.
Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. Rika! Hello. You done playing with I connect to thirds? You connect to... Wait, what? I connect to... This? Wait. Am I missing something? I hear you talking in this voice. Oh, I see. Yeah, now you know. Witness my quote-unquote voice acting powers. But hey, hope you're doing well, Rika. So I guess you're done playing with Kaizi? Anyhow, let's continue. Let's continue voice acting. When Susato-san was giving the news that she was to return to Japan, Kai is grabbing a snack. Oh, I see. Oh no. How do I do his voice again? Lord Strongheart. Lord Strongheart. This is it's weird. It's weird. We have to support us as a professional lurker. All right. Thank you for the lurk. And yeah, quite professional indeed. I didn't even notice you were here.
Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me.
Oh, Lord Strongheart, I trust you've been keeping well?
Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting for a while. My apologies.
Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space. Okay.
Good to know.
Good to know that doesn't appear to be bothering him at all. Mayo Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status.
As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open an International Forensic Science Symposium.
Oh, I've not heard about that.
Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority if others must wait for my attention as a result. So be it.
Well, it's nice to know where I stand.
So, you wish to consult me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about.
Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer in court. That's why I brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Reno, just take a deep breath and come up with it.
Alright, let's do it. I actually came here today to ask for your permission.
Go on.
6 months ago, my right to work in a court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened. The thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of foreign justice system, and I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes? Here it comes.
I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role.
Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour. Not me, it should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. Flashback to dead Kazuma instead of alive Kazuma. Okay. If that tragic accident had not happened, I would be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. And that's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him.
His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling?
Sorry? the mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? It's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much. So do we need to like put it officially? I don't think verbally you can just say I'm qualified, you know? Some has to have something as a proof, right? We need a proof.
That's wonderful news, Bruno.
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course. Please, tell me more, Master. A curious affair. You describe it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. Oof, oh man. I started... Ooh, man, I got a shock on my shoulder. I think I... What's it called? I'm not sure. Some sort of muscle spasm. Ooh. It was really like I was electrocuted or something. Oh shit. I need to stretch. I think that's... Ooh, man. Ooh. My shoulder. Ish, man. Ish. Right. I'm fine. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at a great exhibition yesterday? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment.
German professor? Ooh. Let me see.
Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous kinesis, as in moving things with a click of the fingers?
That's right. It's just what my herbal plants need. A dash of devil may care.
Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It is an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odiasman. Odiasman? Odiasm? What's the pun here? I know this is a pun. Odiasman? Oh, die as a man? Oh, die as a man? Die as a man. Oh, okay. Die as a man. But why though? Mr. Odie as man? Because he's immediately dead as the case began. Alright, any case. Mr. Die as a man. Or die as a man. An investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion?
A man died.
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition. A scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder? I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still.
We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think?
Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zix? How? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them, all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic... Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing. Hey! Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What?
Oh, how fascinating!
It all began 15 years ago. I was Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Dooby yabba dooby doo, dooby yabba dabba doo, walla walla bing bang, walla walla ding ding dang dang. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Okay, I guess I'm gonna show him the newspaper. Oh, that reminds me, have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story of the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zix would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Fortunately, Lord Van Zix emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked though? Do we know? It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zix. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Not sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchman certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Osman, Mr. Odie Osman. Did you say Osman?
That's the man who died in a big explosion on a great exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zix as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom, and fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zix first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zix work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zix may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget, but that's quite late though. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zix now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Okay, we're
we're done.
A new location has been added. Ooh. Prosecutor's office. Okay, let's visit our new client. Oh, are we gonna do a German accent? We're going to do a German accent, maybe. Unless, of course, you know, he just speaks normally. The warden said cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back of the corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. Who? His what I heard is his voice is higher. So
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? A lawyer.
Was it something I said?
A lawyer, you say?
Would you be here? How do you do a German accent? German accent. German accent. German accent. Is it a Dracula accent? No, I don't think Dracula is Austrian, right? Anyway, I'll just do a high pitch voice or a higher pitch voice of him.
Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry,
Yesterday's demonstration. The demonstration was a magnificent demonstration. It was an out-of-the-world success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity.
Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too. Right, so let's speak. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the stricter sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes. Right then, right on for me. Mr. Osmond was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculation had predicted. At that point, he would have been beamed out to the crystal tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Osmond in fact perished. The machine exploded and Mr. Osmond in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that a part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Osmond was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth there here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. But murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see.
Hurley and I were talking about this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds? Yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation of the Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll see
then they'll say my machine was my weapon, and they'll be able to pour away as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out if it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating.
Humans, like all matter, are made of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficient high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole world of a vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes or on rocky seas for 50 days. Yeah, let's try to do this. Like the stereotypical when they do not pronounce W as W, they pronounce W as V.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? Would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk.
My word! That's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops, that's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the looks of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can, doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And there's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Osman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Oh Die as a Man, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thank my lucky stars. I see, so you hadn't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research. I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis of presentation at a great exhibition. And if that went well, I would expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Osmond provided me with money and exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Osmond. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. I don't think I have anything else for me to like show him, but let's see. Oh wait, let's show him the newspaper at least. How could this happen to me? How could this have happened? Must feel awful, as well as a man losing his life. The Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know what happened. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. It's defied the retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Ooh, thanks for the raid. Thanks for the raid, Kota. Hello, Imperial. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Hello. Alright, you were playing Contra. Oh. I guess we're moving on from Kirby. I guess you finished Kirby. So you're playing Contra. How's Contra? Were you able to finish that? I don't think you can finish that. The game's hard as hell. But yeah, welcome Raiders. Welcome everyone. Jake Lights, Gaming Lawyer at your service. Hello. See my hand? Hello. Hi, I'm a gaming lawyer as well as a real life lawyer as well. But yeah, if you have any legal questions you want to ask, feel free to do so, right? Right now I'm playing Ace Attorney. It's a fun game. I'm doing a bunch of weird voices. You know what time it is? What time is Imperial? Crash my PC. Oh no! Is it gonna... Oh no, there's no sound. Is there no sound? Well, I'll start counting the timer here. Which is... Wait a minute. Why isn't... Oh no, there's no time for this one. Weird. Why is it different? Let me check. Okay, I've updated my Twitch app. Now it just says just now. Okay. Let's... Okay, I can do it. Russian accent in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, I've conversed with the professor too much already, so let's move on. Oh, alright. So, Kota, unfortunate. Sorry to hear that your PC crashed. Did you find out why it crashed? You're not playing like a very heavy the game that requires a lot of heavy processing, right? I don't think Kirby requires a GTX 3090 or something to play. So hope you found some sort of solution to it. I hope. No, I was playing SNES. Yes, Super Nintendo. Very fun. My childhood. Anyhow, let's go to prosecutor's office. Now everyone is going to have a weird Russian accent for the next 5 minutes. 22nd October. Prosecutor's office.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
Yes, it appears so.
Brr, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
I can't do it. Oh man. Oh, is that... Who is that? That hooded figure was so still, I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? How do I do his voice? How do I do Van Ziek's voice? He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. Is very able in combat. I requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Oh man, my my throat is gonna kill me. Last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of a revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of O.D. Osmond's criminal organization. The investigation met their arrest were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. O.D. Osmond is always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, global investors. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty. And he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Okay. 5 minutes is up. 5 minutes. Oh man, I need to drink some water. Oh shit. My throat! Okay, I'm still fine. Mr. Osmond died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. It fits it. That was great. Oh, thank you for the bits. I guess that's the payment for the for performance.
Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you?
Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
Albert Harebrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance?
Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
Your... what?
What? What?
I'd understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though.
Harebrain from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all.
So you were students together?
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he is science. He is in science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him.
Only if I make it out this office alive. Actually, this is the first time I'm looking at this guy like directly. All the while it's all in the courtroom only, like looking at his side profile and such. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
Then why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord Van Zig's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I am no demigod.
Although you pretend to look to be one, you know?
But they all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
No, it was Ginny. In fact, Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those wild wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work.
Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you are not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started calling me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh,
would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful of their lives, like Batman.
Do you mean to say?
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves as a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide.
Lord Van Zieks. Okay, is that supposed to be your cross attached to your chest? Okay. Do you want to look at this newspaper I have? I keep showing to everyone. Want to look at it? You want to look at it? Lord Van Zieks, about the article in this paper.
Ah yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when a little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me.
It looks as though he was taken after the people who attacked you had run away though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him?
No. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Well, there's another term for it. Something like Chimbring student, I guess.
Like you are too early then, Runo.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask.
On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity.
But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again. Is not one for meaningless follies. There will be good reason for his actions.
I hope you're right. Oh, he disappeared? Ooh. You okay? Ah!
The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Hello? Nice to meet you. Enchanté. Oh, there's bats. There's literally bats. I only noticed now. Lord Van Zieks really is Batman. And this is Robin. That was really strange though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. What do you mean?
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, I see.
Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway?
Huh? Oh no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, and with that flawless posture. It could be. Could it? Wait. Are you telling me that's my Anyhow, only my suspicions, okay?
Ah yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry? I'm a Nipponese man as well, you know?
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with a stoop and a moustache and the jitters.
Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you'd identify him from that list, Runo.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I'd advise you to spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I think he's become, by the end of the last game, he is less racist, but still racist, I think. If that makes sense. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. Yep. We all in this game is just like we don't want to say it, but you definitely know what we mean.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
A mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Harebrain. I mean, you're kind of like a mad scientist as well, you know, Iris. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Von Zix, I think. Bum, 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 bum. Can I examine the bats? Oh, this is his own, like, recreation of the place. Can I look at the picture? That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Ooh. Still. Racist is still racist, but he's cool looking. It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Von Zix's facial features.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
How vain. It's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
Oh, then who is it? You don't want to say? Your father, your grandfather? Anyhow, I want to look at the bats. Oops. The bats. Oof. Okay. Wow! They were bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. That's not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way. Right, no more bats. It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before.
He hasn't moved his muscles since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? Oh, he did get up just a while ago.
If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
But anyway, dead or alive is not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead.
Alright, let's go, let's go. Prison? Prison. Oh yeah, okay. I understand Lord Van Zix is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law while I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. I'm assuming gentlemanly and all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about a cool-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barak Van Zix. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Runo.
As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zix family, with all its great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zix will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Right. We've done all the talking now. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. How much is a centillion? How much is a centillion? How many zeros? 303 zeros. Ouch, man, that's a lot. Anyhow, I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe me in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. Although I have absolutely no clue what other evidence, what are the facts that I have that I can use in court. But I'll try, you know. I'm the best lawyer you have right now because nobody would want your case. I'm a man of law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your best, your hardest, you can achieve anything. Believe it. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Runo, it's time. Time to visit the great exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. A new location has been added. Alright. I think it's gonna be another round of talking and talking, and we're just about a bit too much in terms of this playthrough, Ace Attorney. Yeah, I think how do you say how? It's almost 6 hours already. Of course, about 5 hours or 4 or 5 hours if you do not include the Duolingo and break time. All right then. So I think I should end here. So I should be saving. All right, I'll save and call it a day. At least for now. I will see. Since I'm ending earlier, I'm probably doing some behind the scenes work. But if I am still, how do you say, up to it or have energy left, I will go and stream some more. Maybe tonight later, but not Ace Attorney. We'll be playing maybe Red or not, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So thank you so much, anyone that's still here. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this stream. We will be continuing Ace Attorney adventure next week. All right, we will be back for, most likely at the same times, and it'll be October. So for those that are not going to be here tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be doing a live seminar again on copyrights as well as in relation to YouTube. All right, and yeah, next week will be something good happening, maybe, and most likely there'll be something good, and I need to work on that. And really, anyhow. As always, whenever I end my streams, I will be rating someone. And I think, there's a lot of people who get to choose. Right. Let's see. We definitely can raid. Who can we raid? Let me see. Ads. Unfortunate. Oh, this time it's a different ad. Oh, Adidas. Nice. I've not bought anything from Adidas actually. Right, let me just go over here. Do Valorant. Maybe not. Let's try. Let's do the. Let's go over here. Let's see who. Genshin Impact. Yeah, let's do Genshin Impact. So we'll be rating how do you say it? A common mutual, our usual mutual. That rhymed. But yeah, she is Rishi Valkyrie. She is how do you say, a Tiger VTuber, and playing Genshin Impact. So we'll be going over there, rating her. So if anyone's still here, maybe go say hello. If not, it's okay. We'll be, how do you say, we'll just chill, right? We'll just chill. All right, now we do a raid message. And we'll be going there now. Right, again, take care, stay hopeful, but be critical, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you again, everyone, for coming by and watching. All right, 3, 2,